Good evening, and good evening. Hi, Amy. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I am fantastic. And if you're watching this live on YouTube, or you're watching it back, or you're listening to it on the podcast afterwards, we've got to say that Amy WhatsApped me. I think it was yesterday or the day before, and she says if we beat this Brighton hoodoo, she's going to get out the glitter ball. And as per her word, you've got it going on in the background there, Amy.
It is going on. I got this glitter ball when I lived in London, when we used to have loads of flat parties all the time. So it's not been out for a while. I actually didn't know where it was, and it turned out that it was at my parents'. Mum was like, "Oh, it's here." So I managed to get that off them today when I was round there watching the game. So very, very happy that we beat Brighton. It's been a long time coming, so it feels nice to have beaten our bogey team. But
Absolutely.
My cat is going wild.
Blossom's going mad. Can we see Blossom in the background there, just on your shoulder? There she is. Look, she's pouncing, looking at. She doesn't know which light to go for.
So we might have to turn it off in a bit if the cat's going too wild.
I just want to say as well a big thank you to Spider VPN for powering extra time. Wherever you are in the world, they provide high-speed, low-cost, secure VPN services for all your devices. The link's in the description below. And we've got a major announcement today, because Spider VPN have signed up to be the extra time sponsor for the whole of next season as well. How good's that? Absolutely amazing. And which is really good, because it helps the channel to grow. And Amy, obviously delighted with the performance. Interesting when the team came out. What's your summary of the match before we get stuck into the viewers and the people that are coming on to give their version of the game tonight?
I thought overall it was a very enjoyable game, to be fair. So yeah, I really enjoyed it, which was good. Going off the back of the Albion game, well, the West Brom Albion game, obviously it was Albion again today. But yeah, I really enjoyed the performance. Well, the first half, some of it was a bit, but that's to expect, isn't it, with first half performances? So we wouldn't have wanted anything any less or anything more. But they recovered well, and yeah, I just thought it was good in general. I think Dunk was my man of the match. Not going to lie. I'm sure we'll get onto that shortly.
We absolutely will.
But no, just really good to see, and it's nice that they're, even though we haven't got really anything to play for, that they're trying to finish the season strong after what's been quite a hard season to watch. So I think yeah, good overall.
It is absolutely good. Well, I must admit, we're going to get on to, just let you know, tonight already lined up. We've got Paul, we've got Ghostman coming back. Hopefully we'll be able to see him. We've got Mini Amy and Dad. We've got Young Thomas. We've got Statman. We've got Andy over in his, I'm going to get this right, motorhome, not camper van. So we've got loads of guests already lined up for tonight. And I've got to say, before we get on to them, Amy, I was quite impressed with the first 10 minutes. And then it was a bit like Burnley, where they scored and then we were all over the shop. And then the second half, we were obviously a lot better. I know Brighton went down to 10 men, but Fabio was through. I think he would have slotted that away for a 1-1. And as you say, Dunk had a moment of madness.
Yeah.
And pulled him back. I think it was instinctive, wasn't it?
But then it's like, the thing which got me about the situation was the commentators were like, well, he has to make that instinctive reaction where is he gonna take the red card, or is he gonna let Fabio try and score? And I was thinking that shouldn't even be a thing that's crossing his mind. He shouldn't think, oh, I've got to weigh up getting a red card. You should never want to get a red card for your team. So I just think the fact that we're talking about that kind of situation in football these days is just not okay. You should not be pulling the last man's shirt back at all. So, yeah, I just think the whole situation was a little bit bizarre. And I think the discipline of Brighton was very, very lacking with what happened at the end of the game as well. So if that was for Wolves players, I would not be happy.
That was why they got the booking, the red card. That's 2 reds because I was watching it and I was thinking, where's the other red come? Because I kind of missed it. Robert Flesher, we're not the only reason that we've got the glitter ball out tonight, because it seems, because Albion were losing, it looks like. Are we correct in?
It's only half time. It's only half time.
Oh, it's only half time.
Yeah,
so
games didn't kick off till 7. I'll get it up. But they're losing 2-0 at 50 minutes.
So 2-0 down. So the West Birmingham Baggy Birds could be boinging back to the Championship. And Amy, although we've got the glitter ball out for obviously the Brighton win, coincidentally, it could also be for our friends.
Well, we've not had many reasons to get out the disco ball this season, have we? So let's just make it a double today.
Right, so let's get on to our guests then. I'm just going to change the background so it looks right. And first up tonight, before we get to Paul, who'll be coming up next, we've got young Thomas, who always speaks very well. Thomas, welcome back, mate.
Hello.
Hi, Thomas.
Hello, you all right?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. A lot better after a win.
Are you loving the glitter ball?
Pardon?
Are you loving the glitter ball that Amy's got going on?
Yes, it's very good. Very exciting.
Honestly, I'm in a flat on like the ground floor, and all the curtains are open, and they must just be thinking, what the hell is going on in there? So anyway, how did you think of today's performance?
As usual, it was again a Wolves performance where we conceded first. I mean, it's no surprise. When I remember saying before the match, I said to Dad, because before it kicked off, I said, because we didn't really know the time, I was like, Dad, it's going to be 1-0 Brighton, Lewis Dunk. And when they scored with Lewis Dunk, I thought to myself, oh no, I've done it again. I've called the wrong outcome. And when I saw the lineup, I was quite excited. I was excited to see 4 at the back. I think the rest of our games will be 4 at the back now, because I think he'll want to transition. I think we'll use this as extra pre-season. And then I also think that again, get the youngsters some playtime. We need to see Vitinha and Ait-Nouri. I thought I had my doubts about Ait-Nouri, but I think we should probably try and sign him, considering Johnny and Marcel's injuries. And Vitinha again wasn't as standout as usual, but you can't be as good as how he was against West Brom.
You say that though, Thomas, and I'm completely with you on Ait-Nouri. I've been really impressed with him since his second stint, since Johnny's got injured. But I thought Vitinha had a good game as well, and it was his flick again from the outside and the movement of Fabio that got him into the position, and obviously drew the foul from Amy's man of the match, Dunk, and obviously from there on they were down to 10 men. So I thought Vitinha had another good game again.
I mean, he did make that pass, and I mean, it's always good to see the other team get a red card, because I mean, it gave the advantage for us. As soon as I saw the red card, I was like, right, if we're going to bring anyone on now, it should be Adama. And we brought Adama on, and he showed us again why we need to try and keep him. Because he gets the ball and he wants to take them on. Because, I mean, we looked at Hove in that first half. He did well, but he doesn't have that ambition to take them on as much as Adama. But when Adama takes them on, he'll try and get it to the byline and cross it back, which creates the most dangerous opportunities, especially when you've got someone like Jimenez back, which hopefully should be before the end of the season. See him at Man U.
We're waiting on a news update on the 18th of May for Raul. Blossom.
Honestly, she's going mad for these lights. We might have to turn them off in a minute. I'm going to have to deal with a wild cat if we don't. It's like having a child.
This is why you come to this channel, because anything can happen.
I personally don't want to see Raul back for the end of the season. I don't think there's any point in bringing him back, personally. Obviously, I want the guy more than anyone to to be back on the pitch and playing football. But for the sake of one game against Man United, I just don't see the point in risking it personally. I'd rather have him had the extra time and, like, you know, just get him back for the start of next season is what I want to see. But you know, leave it to the experts. But that's just my. If we were like had to get him on to win to stay in the league, then it might be a different story. But yeah, I just think there's no point bringing up. But like,
I think, Amy, we should be asking every guest that comes on tonight actually that question. I think you've raised a very, very good point, because Raul could be fit, but if he plays, then Mexico might want him to go and play in the Olympics.
Yeah.
So the question is to you, Thomas. If Raul was fit to play in the last game or two, would you play him?
I know what my dad would say. He'd say no, but yeah, I think I'm gonna have to change my mind and say no, because I mean, we want other players to show us what they've got before they either go back on loan. Personally, I don't think we should see Raul. I don't. Likewise, with a lot of fans, if he gets injured again, I don't think we'll be seeing him for a long time. But I think the man who should be replacing him for those matches is I've seen enough of Jose. I've seen enough to tell that I don't think we should spend this £20 million on him, because he is 30 years old, 29, same age as Raul, when we've got Fabio Silva, who is improving game by game. Because you see on social media a lot of these like tier lists, and they'll be like, oh, youngsters in the Premier League, and Fabio will be at the bottom. But I don't think anyone understands that this guy's come in for 35 million and wasn't expected to play this many games. And recently he's been really good.
I think he's getting better every game, Thomas. I really do. And I think what I like from him today is he seems really like involved in the team. Like when Gibbs White missed the sitter, he was like giving him a hug, being like straight to him, giving him a hug. And I just think that side of him is really coming out now, which I think is really important for the Wolves team. It's really important that they're close. So that's what I've been really impressed with him, seeing how much he really is enjoying being there and being part of the team as well.
I think see from Gibbs White as well, his passion for the club is coming back. When he scored that winner, you know, we all celebrate because every single player's ran over to him, and it was a great finish. I mean, the Dharma for the first goal, the link-up play was brilliant.
Yeah, and Vitinha started that off as well.
I've been proved wrong in what I said about Vitinha, but it's good to beat Brighton. I mean, the last time I came on, it was Burnley. We were saying about how we can never beat the teams that start with B. But we've done it. We've beaten Brighton, and but next season's the time. And I saw a comment about Rafa Mir and how he scored last night, didn't he?
It was a good goal from distance.
Yeah, I'm not sure why we recalled Cotrone and not him. I don't know if it's something about his loan that he can't be recalled.
Maybe.
I know it can happen, but I think we shouldn't loan him out next season. If we do need someone to rotate with Raul and Silva, it should be him. But yeah, I mean, Nuno as well. When we want set pieces, actually, are the things we need to improve on.
Yeah, it was the height today is the thing that got me.
It was like the Harlem Globetrotters going up front, were they, every time they had a corner, weren't it, Amy?
It was like, I mean, that Dan Burn, that really like 6'7" chap, and you've got Neves on him, and you think, bloody hell. It was just embarrassing, just pitiful, really, seeing it. It was just like, oh God, is this really a thing?
I remember seeing a picture of the match of Burn and Podence standing next to each other. That's incredibly mean to Podence.
A bit of a mismatch.
Yeah.
Oh God, the tallest player in the Premier League versus the shortest player in the Premier League.
Imagine if we got Podence to mark Dan Burn, or Louis Dunk. We would have been down by 10, or the amount of corners that they had. But
yeah, they did have an awful lot of corners, didn't they?
I think the biggest thing for us will be recruitment in the summer. Centre back is definitely needed.
100%.
Yeah. And I think a midfielder if we don't sign Vitinha on permanent, which I think we should do.
To be honest,
So,
Thomas, before we get on to your obviously your performance rating and your final take on the man of the match, I've got to say that what I've seen of Vitinha in these last 2 games, because we're actually getting to see him play, I think they should definitely keep him because he does look good. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I think Amy's on the same wavelength as we're generally are mainly on the same wavelength, but I think she's got the same opinion about William Jose as well. We've seen enough to know that he's a nice guy. He tries, but it's 1 goal. He came in and did a job for us at a tricky position, but I don't think he's the answer.
He's not.
no.
No.
So what's your man of the match and your performance rating then?
Man of the match has got to be Adama. He basically why we could have won with that Morgan Gibbs fight and how we've won with the comeback as well. And I think my performance rating I'm going to go with 7 because I think it's set pieces again. And yeah, I mean for a young team they did very well today. And yeah.
Absolutely brilliant, Thomas. Thank you so much for joining us. You do speak always a lot of sense, very mature for your age, and we look forward to having you back on again, mate.
Thank you.
See you soon.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Sorry.
I am going to turn, guys, I'm really sorry. I'm going to turn the lights off because they're making me go a bit funny. But just appreciate them and they may be back soon.
We might put them on right at the end to finish off on.
Okay.
Fair enough. Saving the battery. So next up, whilst Amy does that, we've got a young Paul. Paul, it has been far too long since we've had your dulcet tones coming on to talk about the game. I've been trying to get him on, but you're so busy, aren't you, Paul?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Hi, Dave. Hi, Amy. Good to speak to you.
Hello.
I'm sorry it's taken so long to get me back on. I've not been avoiding or anything, but little things like work and trying to balance 2 or 3 jobs and kids at the same time. It's all been a bit hectic.
No worries at all. Life's starting to return back to normal now as well, isn't it? So
yeah, definitely.
We're not all stuck at home all the time anymore.
Hey, Paul, before we get on to talking about the game, because you've been on a few times, we've talked about it, that athletic quiz that you qualified for the final. Just tell us how that turned out in the end, because you were the top Wolves fan to qualify and you're up against another 19 fans from the Premier League. How did it go?
That's right. Yeah, I mean, first of all, I was really so honoured to have got to that stage and be representing our team at that level. But when it came to the actual day, back in March, it was hosted by Jackie Oatley and another journalist from The Athletic. And rather than being like the previous, where it was specific to your club, it was general football knowledge. And the first round completely threw me. It was so random, some of the questions. It was things like stadiums in Slovakia, stadiums in Turkey. It was
very niche.
Yeah, very niche, very niche. And after the first round, I was 24th out of 30. But I went on a real run in the next 2 rounds, and I managed to get myself into 6th place going into the last round. And I thought, I'm probably not going to win this now, but I might have a chance of at least finishing in the top 3. But in the end, I finished at 8th place, which
that's good.
I mean, I was proud in a way to finish that high, but at the same time, would have been great.
I think you qualified for Europe in that case, didn't you? Because how many was there? How many was there in it?
Well, there was 30 on the night, but there'd been so many like heats to get to
How
that.
come it was 30 if it was a Premier League thing, or was it Championship as well? Was it?
There were some bigger Championship teams in, and also there was some people that qualified from Germany and France, Italy. So I mean, I said that I'd pledged. I mean, the prize was £1,000, which would have been nice, but I'd pledged 500 of that anyway to I think I was going to give it to the Feed Our Pack charity. So I was a little bit disappointed that I couldn't deliver on that, but it was a good experience, and I'm really glad that I got a chance to do it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely brilliant, mate. And I think if you finished 8th, judging how many was there, that's definitely qualifies you for Europe for definite. So
For the Intertoto Cup, probably.
Oh, yeah, absolutely fantastic. So, what's your take on the game, mate?
I've listened to a few of the comments. I really agree. There's been some really good comments made already by Thomas, yourself, Amy. I think first thing to say, it's really not easy playing against 10 men. How often do you see matches where someone gets someone sent off? There's quite a long time to play, and it becomes so difficult to break them down.
Mm-hmm.
We deserve a lot of credit for that. Yes, you can say, oh, it's only Brighton or whatever, but actually they've got a really good away record. They've beaten Liverpool. I think they've beaten Leicester as well this season. So it was a real achievement for a team that really struggles to score goals to come up with the 2 goals, and possibly should have been more with the Gibbs-White chance as well. So, yeah, I think that was a real plus. And to be honest, the red card did change the match, but I thought the way we came out at the start of the second half, like we were really starting to take the game to them anyway.
Yeah.
And
they'd obviously had a rollicking at half time.
Yeah. And they probably would have deserved that because, as Dave said, the first 10 minutes was really good. We took the game to them. Vitinha nearly scored a really good goal. But it's the Achilles heel of set pieces, isn't it? 13 times now from set pieces we've conceded. But they're still doing the same things wrong. Normally when Traore plays, I notice that they put him on their big guy to try and block him, to act as like, to stop him getting a run. But that tactic is just not working because I think we've got the worst record from set pieces.
Yeah, it's the worst now.
Oh, is it? We're actually out of the whole division.
Yeah.
So I just think they've got to look at that. And they needed to look at it before today, but today should be like the final nail in the coffin for the way that they defend set pieces. So I'm sure like the pre-season would be a really good chance to implement some new ways.
Do you not think we need to get a proper new centre back, Paul? Not one for not bring players in for the future in this summer window. We need to bring players that are going to make a difference to the squad now, because I think Nuno wants to play this 4 at the back, and I thought Kilman did all right. I thought Cody did okay, but I don't think as a 2. Obviously you've got Bolly to come out. I think to be Bolly and a new centre back, and maybe Cody would play just in front of those 2 at the back of defence, allowing the likes of Neves to push further forward.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we've probably needed to sign a centre half since we got promoted. I know we turned Bolly's loan into a permanent, but we've still got really the same bulk of the defence in the middle that we've had in the Championship. I agree with what you said about trying to play a 4 at the back at times. But I wouldn't discount 3-5-2 or 3-4-3 completely. I think they need to be flexible and play certain formations against certain teams. So, for instance, if you're playing at home to Sheffield United or bottom of the league, there's no point in having 3 centre-halves. But that's when you'd play a 4. But we've shown over the last 2 years that we can go to Man City, Tottenham, Arsenal, with that 3-4-3 formation, and not just sit back and defend. Really, we scored 3 goals at Tottenham in the last 2 years running.
Yeah.
So
we've got them next.
3-4-3 does not have to be just a low block formation where you just try and shut the opposition out. But I think it could be still useful for us in certain games. Horses for courses, really.
Yeah. I agree. I think the thing with Wolves now is that until this season, everyone knew that there was always going to play a back 3. So you don't have that element of not necessarily surprise, but you don't have many tactics to deploy, do you, with various different formations. So having a team that can adapt to both, with the players that can adapt to both. And me and my dad today was talking about that. And apart from Kilman, and Kilman hasn't had much game time really, and he hasn't really played in a back four. So the only players that had in the defence were makeshift defenders, is how my dad refers to them, in terms of converted ones, which they need. For me, they need a proven Premier League centre back to adapt formations as they see fit. And I think, as much as I really like Cody, if Cody doesn't fit into that, then Cody doesn't fit into that, which is a very controversial thing to say. And I don't think you can take away his leadership qualities at all. But is he the centre back that Wolves need in defence? I don't know.
I think so, definitely. Ideally with someone who's quick next to him. But he's getting picked for England in a back four. So if Gareth Southgate thinks he's good enough to play for England in a back four, then he's good enough for us, in my opinion.
I think you make a good point there, Paul, about if he was along, because he does lack pace. But I think Cody always looks a lot more comfortable when he's in a back three, because he's got people either side of him. And although I know you're going about, and don't get me wrong, I love Cody, and I'm not saying that Cody shouldn't be in the team somewhere if we go to a back two, and I think he can play in a back two. But against real high-level opposition, I think he would struggle. He did play for England there, but that was really only against like teams that are like League One standards and Championship. So against the real, your top strikers, I think that's where I'd worry. But maybe that's where you'd switch to that back three, like what you mentioned. I think Wolves definitely do need plan A, B, and C, and I think you can see Nuno wants to go to a back four because he's tried it a few times, but we've got to have the right personnel because he has been trying different things. It's not quite worked out. One thing to pick up on, and this is for both Amy and Paul, what are your thoughts on how Wolves were taking corners again today? It seemed to be short corner after short corner after short corner after short corner.
I think the reason for that is because there was zero height in that box. So they couldn't do a normal corner, because if you think of the players that Brighton have got, they'd have just headed it out straight away. That's why they, I know they've been doing it for a while, but there's little height, especially if you've not got Jose in, you've got Fabs in instead of Jose. So some of them worked, some of them didn't work. Some of them were quite pathetic, really, the corners today, I thought. But I think set pieces taking them and set pieces defending them is something that needs working on in the summer, because we don't seem to be getting much success. When did we last score off a set piece? Does anyone know? I can't remember.
It's a good question. That's a very good question.
Someone who's coming on later, have a little Google right now and let us know.
I'll probably be able to tell us that, won't he?
Yeah, Statman, some homework for you.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I agree with Amy. I don't think against Brighton you can just chuck the ball in the box with how big they are as a team compared to us. So you have to give them a bit of credit, I guess, for trying to show a bit of invention. But I do think that we are trying the short corner route too often.
Yeah.
So, yes, have that up your sleeve. And I really like that little one where I think it was Podence early on in the first half, where he just dropped his shoulder and went into the box instead of laying it back. So I do like to see a bit of creativity. But I am disappointed, like Amy said, overall. We just don't look threatening whatsoever from set pieces. So, no. And that's something to work on over the summer.
Yeah, I think that's definitely clear. I get the point about the height of the defence, and I get that. But they're still then, after they've done the little short corner, delivering the ball into the same area.
True.
And the players are still there. What I was surprised is that because they play that routine every single time, it's like they know what's coming. You need to mix it up, so you don't know whether it's going straight in or not, because otherwise it becomes too easy to deal with, because they have a practice every time we took a corner to get rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Definitely need something to work on.
And I think crossing the ball from open play in general and to a lesser extent set pieces, is a dying art. I think you really struggle to name, not just in our team, but in the Premier League overall, who can you think of that time after time puts in a great cross? And I was trying to think today, and there's not that many. So I think it's a bit of a lost art in football in general, crossing.
I think Neto delivers a good ball.
I agree. Yeah, Neto. Cresswell from West Ham was someone that came to my mind who's pretty consistent. It's something I want to see people like Hoover and Semedo work on.
Yeah.
Because they can get some promising positions, but maybe it's to do with the movement in the box. Maybe that's not helping. Maybe when you've got Jimenez in there, it'll become different. But
well, don't forget Jimenez. When he plays, he's also defending corners as well.
Definitely.
And then we had Bolly in there as well too, and Sois, and we had none of those in there today at all. It was like a mismatch. And you know, Patricio made a good save to knock it onto the bar at one point.
That was going in. That was
another one straight at him. But you know, we got the win.
We got the win for sure.
I don't understand how a team becomes such a bogey team, like for such a long period of time, even though the managers change, the players change. How has it been so hard to beat them and teams like Huddersfield for us in the past, Burnley as well? You know,
I know it is. When you think about it, it is crazy. But I just think every team has a bogey team, so you just have to accept it. And Brighton are ours, and we beat them today. So
we played Brighton 38 times, and we've beaten them just on 7 occasions, and it's the first time we've beat them in the top flight today.
Yeah, and they're not exactly Real Madrid, are they? So it's just a strange stat. But yeah, what we on now, is it 45 points? I mean, if we can
45 points, yes, mate.
If we can get to 50, I think you still have to qualify that as a successful season, given all the melting pot of circumstances that come together.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's a great achievement if they can get to 50 points.
When your top goal scorer's got 5 goals and you're comfortably safe with 5 or 6 matches to go, then I think that's an achievement in itself.
Yeah, definitely. You just think if they hadn't have had the injuries and they hadn't have had everything that's happened, what could have they done? I mean, you only had to look at that Crocs box today, didn't you? With all the ones that was sat in there.
Yeah, true.
Absolutely. So, Paul, to finish off with, are you going to go with your man of the match and what's your performance rating?
Again, I mean, I'm always tempted to give a first half and a second half, but I have to say overall, I'd probably give it an 8 because in the second half, I enjoyed watching that performance. Made me enjoy watching us again.
Yeah, agree.
Thomas gave a good call about Traore changing the game, but for me, someone who really impressed me today was Aït-Nouri. I think a big part in the goal. I think he's looking more and more confident, both defensively and in an attacking sense as well. So he's really changed my mind about him.
I agree on the same, Paul.
So for me, he would be my man of the match for today.
And we've got to ask you: would you play Raul if he got the call on the 18th and he was a thing? Would you play him, or would you hold him back till next season?
I was just thinking, what is there to gain from him playing? We don't need the points. The only thing that he could possibly gain is a bit of psychological confidence from being back in a competitive situation, but could that not happen in pre-season? Could he not gain a bit of confidence from playing in semi-competitive matches then? So I was a definite yes a few weeks ago, selfishly, because I just wanted to see him back on the pitch. But can you imagine in August when fans are back in properly, hopefully, the noise that's going to be made when he comes back out? I think save it till August. There's nothing to gain from it, really.
No, I agree.
I think that's a good note to finish off on. So everyone tonight has come on so far, thinks you should be held back. Be interesting to see what Statman says, who's going to be up next. Paul, absolutely brilliant to have you back on, mate. You know, you talk a lot of sense, and I know that you'll come on when you get the chances. 8 o'clock, it seems like a good time for you. Good news is Tottenham match will be 8 o'clock next week, I think. I've got to confirm with the boss first. but I think it'll probably be 8 o'clock. Absolutely brilliant to have you on again, Paul. Thanks for your contribution. And well done on the quiz.
Well done on the quiz.
Yeah, cheers. Nice to
See you
speak to you both.
soon. Thank
See you soon.
you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Absolutely brilliant to have Paul back. He talks ever so well, and he's such a lovely bloke as well. And he ain't half bad at making it difficult to play tennis. Anyway, we've got the legend that is Statman. Hello, mate.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you? Good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Good.
Good. How's Cody?
Good.
How's Cody?
Oh, thank you for asking. Yeah, he's doing well. Which one? I'm joking. No, the dog, obviously. Yeah, he's doing well. He's settling in now.
Good. Glad that he's doing well. So, have you got the stats?
Yes.
Here we have. We get a drum roll.
Thank you for letting me on the show. I know. It was Wolves 2, Brighton 1. Like you say, Dave, we broke the hoodoo. Shots. So for Wolves, it was 16 to Brighton's 5. On target, Wolves had 6 shots on target to Brighton's 3. Possession, 61% to Wolves to 61% to Wolves to Brighton's 39%. Passes, 560 to Wolves, and Brighton had 371. Passing accuracy, 88% to Wolves to Brighton's 81%. Fouls, Wolves had 12 to Brighton's 7. Yellow cards, Wolves had 2, and so did Brighton. Brighton had 2. Yellow cards, Wolves had none to Brighton's 2. Offsides, no one got offside for Wolves, up for Brighton twice. Corners, 10 for Wolves and 5 for Brighton.
So pretty much all the stats we betted them at, pretty much.
Yeah, I think
the stats are very good.
I think they obviously came into it a lot after they scored their goal for the rest of the second half, and it did feel like we were clinging on a little bit in that second half. Thankfully, they did cling on, and I think whatever the team talk, yes, the sending off did change the game, but I think, like Paul said, it is very hard to play against 10 men, but Wolves were, for those first 10 minutes, completely taking the game to them anyway. So I do think overall that Wolves were definitely the best team, which was nice to see. For I think since the last two, very positive, which I think you saw it against the Albion. Okay, it was a draw against the Albion, but since the Burnley game, they do seem to be playing a lot more positive, fearless football, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Don't know what you guys think.
What point would you like to make about the game, Speedy?
I agree with both of what you've said about first 10 minutes. It was like we could have scored 2 or 3 goals, and then obviously it was like the Burnley game where they sat back a bit and let Brighton come on to them. But I think, as we've seen in most games this season, second half is always the half where Wolves always take the game to position. And I think it was a very positive performance overall. And Fabio Silva, I absolutely love the player because I think he's an 18-year-old who's progressing and getting better in every game. And I think he's such a great talent, and I can't wait till he plays in front of fans, because he'll hear his name being chanted, and the confidence he will have will just be brilliant, and I think he deserves it.
I wonder what the song's going to be for Fabio. I reckon he'll have his own song. So if anyone's got any ideas of what it might be, then come on and show and sing it to us as a little preview.
Put it down and put it in the chat.
Or put it in the chat. If you think you know what Fabs' song's going to be, then I don't know. I wouldn't know where these things start, but Fabs is definitely going to have us. When Dunk pulled him back, I was like, "Don't touch my boy Fabs. Don't touch that little prince." So but yeah, I agree. He's improving every game, and it's really nice to see. After I think he had quite a lot of stick. I was all rooting for him, but I did think he had quite a lot of unnecessary stick from a few fans at the start of the season.
Well, you can see, can't you, the difference in the way he's playing and his confidence, and he's led the line really, really well. And I think the fact that Nuno's playing him ahead of William Jose, to me, that says that Nuno's made his mind up on Jose as well, and he's decided that, you know, he's going to play Fabio, give him the experience. Do you know Fabio scored 4 goals? He's obviously not played as many full games as Fabio. He's got that 1 goal, should have been 2, obviously. And sorry, William Jose. And if Fabio scores 2 more goals, he'll be our top scorer.
Which it could happen. There's 3 games left.
Neto's on 5, and he's obviously not playing. And then Neves is the other one who's on 5. What did you think of Neves' performance tonight? Or to this morning, this afternoon?
Whenever it was. What do you think, Speedy?
I'll be a gentleman. You can go first.
I think he looks knackered. I think he looks really tired. He needs a holiday. Me and Dad said he needs a holiday. He needs to go to Portugal. He needs 2 weeks off or something. He looks absolutely shattered. I think he's trying, but he needs a break, the poor lad.
Good news is Portugal's now on the green list.
Yeah, but he's probably going to be playing in the Euros, isn't he? So he's not going to have any break.
Well, he will be when he'll be playing in the Euros, but they will get a bit of downtime. But but it'll still be a different environment for him, I suppose. I've seen Neves' free kicks have just not been on it for so long. I mean, he had that free kick that we got from the Fabio incident, and then he just ballooned it over. He used to be able to put them in for fun.
You always whenever you get a free kick there, you think, oh, Neves territory, come on, lads. And he's just not performed with them this year, has he? But maybe he needs the crowds back to boost him up or something. But I mean, he's still fantastic. He's still an unbelievable player. But yeah, I think burnt out. I think he's and he's had COVID as well, hasn't he? So he might not be fully like Bolly's.
That's a good point.
So he might be suffering a little bit with that still. You don't know.
Statman, before we get on to your your final say on man of the match and performance rating, obviously we've been talking about Raul, the 18th. If you were Nuno and you got the nod on the 18th that Raul was fit to play, would you play him, or would you hold him back till next season and say, let's just get you fully right? Or would you say or maybe Raul's desperate to play, and would you say, let's go?
I think you'd ask the player, obviously, how he is in himself, because, you know what I mean, a professional footballer wouldn't lie how he's feeling. But if I was a footballer, I'd rather play in front of a crowd because I know I've got support to play my best, if you know what I mean. It's a bit like a rock band playing in front of no crowd. They're not going to, you know what I mean, they're not going to become a great band because they're not noticed or they're not heard of. You know what I mean? And I think if you ask Raul himself, he'd rather play in front of a crowd.
But there will be some fans there, won't there, for the United game?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, there will be. I don't know, really. It's a tough one. I don't know, really. Like, I think the thing is with me and probably most Wolves fans and probably yourselves is when a corner comes into the box or a throw-in, I just don't want to head the ball because of the injuries had. Personally, I wouldn't play him. Really, I think give him a pre-season and see how he is next season. That's what I think.
And your man of the match and performance rating to finish off?
I've got a couple of stats, so I'll do my stats if that's okay. So goals conceded last season, we conceded 40 to 47 this season. I know you wanted the stat for that, and I don't think it's that bad really, considering what's happened. First half rating, I'd give it 3, and that's a bit not. great. But it was just, you know what I mean. We didn't. 10 minutes we were going to score, and then obviously after that it was just not good enough. Second half I give it an 8, as it was very positive and we could have scored a lot of goals. Man of the match was 8 Nori, as I think every game he's playing so far, he's improving with every game that he's playing.
Yeah. Good
And another
stats.
one,
Thanks.
sorry, clean sheets this season. Sorry. Can I say my last one, or is it? Have you got other guests? Well, I mean,
No, carry on.
Well, we've got many fun adventures on next.
Sorry, I'll say it quick. So last season was 13 to this season's 10. So if obviously there's 3 games left, they can equal with, which I think is pretty.
No problem.
Thank
We're going
you.
to shut Tottenham out. We're going to shut Man United out. And who else have we got?
Everton.
And Everton, no problem.
Everton.
Thanks ever so much.
Right,
Stevie.
thank you.
Thank you
We'll
for
see you
having me. I
again
do
next
appreciate it.
week.
Cheers, mate.
Bye.
Thank you. Take care.
You too. Bye. Love to you, your dog and your mum.
Absolutely love having Speedy on. He always comes up with his stats. Next, and we're going to find out where in the world he is. It's Andy. How you doing? Hashtag van life. So it
Are
is
we still in? Was it Northampton? Were you Northampton last time? Rugby.
No, I was near Rugby last time.
Rugby, that's the one. Are you still there?
No, we moved on now.
Oh,
We're
right.
now at a place called Claybrook Magna, which ain't
Where's
too
that?
far from Rugby.
Oh.
Can I just show you something very quickly? This is where we are, look. Can you see the beautiful sunset we're getting?
Oh my God.
Wow.
Look at that. That's nice, isn't it?
That's beautiful.
That is stunning.
You've
So
got
you do
the
get
red
to see
sun
some
over the
sights.
trees. You know.
Just as I think the Albion are just about to get relegated.
Oh dear.
I know. What should we do to, you know?
Actually-
should we do a boing boing?
It is a bit of a shame, I suppose, in one way, because I'd like to see us crowds going to watch them play Wolves.
Yeah.
Which, that's it. That is a shame for that, but
They
otherwise, I'm not
shouldn't,
bothered.
they shouldn't have got promoted last year. They scraped promotion last year. They should have saved it for a year, and then we could have gone to a game next season. But is what it is. It's sweet that they've gone. So see you, mate.
Bye. See you later. The West
sure they
Bromwich
wouldn't mind
Baggy
if-
Birds are sadly. I mean, I will say, if they'd have stayed up, we've had a proper derby with proper fans next
Yeah,
year. We've
it's a
not had
shame.
that. But at the other hand, you know, they're boing back down to the champion. I don't think we'll see West Brom in the Premier League for a few years. I just can't see them boinging back again. I just don't think their teams. I think they'll lose Pereira and they'll lose the guy they've got on loan. I can't see them. I just can't see them coming back. They stumbled into the Premier League because Brentford messed it up. So
Yeah, Brentford
Never
should have
mind.
got promoted, but oh
we
well.
say goodbye and cheerio.
Have we defended you?
As Jane says, Samwell gone. Yip away. Carl, see you in 6 years. I
There's
take
not much
Pereira.
sympathy, is there?
And well, no sympathy, no. Cool and the gang, celebration time. Bye, baggies.
If people want to know what the Black Country Derby means, they need to come and see these comments right now, don't they?
Yeah, I know. I mean, you know, the other side of my family are all Albion season ticket holders. You know, so I don't have the vitriolic hate that some people have. But obviously they are our local rivals. So you know, you always want to be lauding it. Okay, they're going to be going, well, you never beat us. 5-1, and I had someone come on in the if you come on in the comments, you haven't beaten us in X amount of years, and I said, and I had to reply, add another 5 onto that then, because I can't just playing them for ages. But you know, fair enough. I think you feel for the fans. We would like a Black Country derby, but a proper one, because we'll show the Premier League what a proper derby is. But
yeah,
they're down and they're gone. Anyway, mate, on to the game.
Yeah. It was the usual thing, really, weren't it? We start off all right. They score a goal. We fall to pieces. Nuno has a go for the half-time chat, I suppose, and then they come out and have another proper go. And it did help, of course, when their player got sent off, of course, you know. But I quite like how Silva's getting on, I must admit. He definitely is getting better, and I'm really pleased about that. Especially after paying 35 million.
Yeah, you just got to think, though, how when he's worth 150 million in a few years' time, and hopefully Wolves be in a position where he won't want to move on as well, then, and you can see, I mean, considering he's 18, 19, is he 19 yet? Some of the movement he makes is really intelligent football and
bang on.
Really intelligent football. So you think, God, in a few years' time and surrounded by people, I think it does help the fact there is a big Portuguese contingent with him making those developments. I don't think if he was somewhere else, he probably would. I don't know if anyone noticed on the commentary today, they referred to Wolverhampton as Little Portugal, which did make me smile quite a bit. It's quite funny. But yeah, I agree with your point about Fabio. I've always been quite a big fan of him anyway. It's nice to see him improving with every game.
What does Andy drive? Have I got to answer that one?
Yeah. Patrick Moran. If Patrick Moran wants to know what you drive, I'm guessing he means what motorhome you've got.
It's an Eldis NV 180.
That
means absolutely nothing to me.
No. If you just said a VW, I'd be like, oh yeah, I know what that is, but anything else, no. But it looks fantastic.
VW, yeah.
It looks fantastic from what we can see in it. So
it's six berth like. It's one of the biggest things you can get, but it's about 7.4 meters long.
I'm hoping to come over and see you when you're next in over Cannock Chaseway, mate.
Yes, we will
come
be
and
there.
have a brew.
Yeah,
Murph Bennett wants to come as well.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
Yeah.
So other than, carry on.
I think he just wants to get away from the out the house and away from the villa lot that lives next door to him. To be honest.
Well, one thing I did get frustrated with the game today was the corners. I know you've mentioned it, Dave, haven't you? The short corners. It just drove me mad today. I mean, every time, and they always mess it up. I don't know why they keep insisting on doing it. I know Amy had a point earlier about, because of who we were playing. We ain't got many tall players, which is true. But we've done it all the time, haven't we? We're constantly short corners. And when they know you're going to do it, you ain't got much chance for that, have you, really? So, I think we should change that around a bit,
Definitely short corners, particularly, I think they need to work on. I thought Matinho used to put a decent corner in last year, so I don't really know what's happened there because he's still been on the pitch most of the time as well. So,
exactly right.
Yeah, he always does that little. My mum calls it the little shuffle. He always does a little shuffle, doesn't he? Before, so maybe the shuffle's not working anymore. I don't know, something like that. But anything else? Obviously Fabio, you've kind of picked out. Anyone else or anything else you were particularly impressed with today?
Well, I was going to say Aït-Nouri. I mean, a lot of people already said about Aït-Nouri, and he's definitely, he's worth having in the side, isn't he? That Jose, though, I tried to give him a chance, I mean, I'll be thinking give him a chance like Silva, but he's really not, it's not working out for him, I don't think. I don't think we should keep Jose at all. But like you said, Dave, he seems a nice chap. But you can't keep him for that, can you? He's got to be, he's got to be a good player. And
it's always been his dream to play in the Premier League. But you've got to. I'm going to give him credit. He does hold the ball up well. He links players in, but his movement isn't on the same level as Fabio Silva or a Raul. No. I think Raul's up there. Fabio Silva's a young lad coming there, and he's got to be fat and stronger. But when he came on today, someone said in the on my watch along ago, the Billy Wright statue is coming on because he doesn't do the moving and stuff. And he's a nice guy, and he wants the move. But I just don't think it's. I'd be shocked if we bought him.
No, I don't. I think people can say they paid £35 million for Fabio, but to spend. You've had basically a trial with him, haven't you? And you can pay £20 million for the trial where the trial's not come good. I don't think would be good business. And it's a shame. I think he wants to do well, but I just don't think he's maybe Wolves isn't the team for him, the Premier League. Maybe he can't adapt the way that Wolves play. That's quite a counter-attacking team, and he's not really got the pace to do that. I don't know, but for me, seems like a nice chap. But he doesn't seem to be part of the team either, and I don't think it doesn't seem to have that united front. You can tell all of them, have that very much united front, and I don't see that from him. But he seems like a nice fella, and I wanted him to come. I wanted him to score 5, 6, 7 goals, but unfortunately he hasn't, has he? So he's a striker and he's not scored really. So
interestingly, Terence Burt, he's 72-year-old. He's a Wolves and Brentford fan. He's been waiting all my life to watch his two teams in the top flight. I'll tell you what, I hope Brentford go up. I like the way they play football. I've liked them for a few years. They've been so close. They absolutely messed it up last year when they should have gone up. I hope they do go up, Brentford.
I hope they come up this year, but I hope they come up this year so that their fans can attend games, because if they'd have come up year just gone, then their fans probably wouldn't have been able to go.
And it's a brand new stadium as well that they've had, so it'd be a nice one to go on the away day, Amy, for that.
I know, I have been to Brentford away twice, and they lost both times, so third time lucky maybe.
Absolutely. What do you think of Morgan Gibbs-White's performance today, both of you? Actually, we've not talked about Morgan, have we?
Yeah, he played a lot better today, definitely. I thought when he missed that goal, I thought, oh no, but then he made up for it just after. I was pleased he did, because he has been giving it a good go, hasn't he?
I think if he hadn't, if I feel for Morgan, because he does seem to be a bit of a target of the social media bully boys. Okay, he hasn't helped himself in a lot of ways, and some of the things he puts out. He's a young lad. Needs to be a bit more think about what he posts sometimes. But had he not scored that winner after missing that sitter, I think he would have come in for a bit more stick. But you could see when he was talking at the end how much it meant to him. I know that was nice to see.
Yeah, it was nice to see, and I hold my hands up and say that he's not my favourite player at Wolves, and he's not really. I always think he potentially thinks he's better than he is. But it was nice today that he showed that he does actually want to be there, because I have questioned that, whether he takes for granted being at Wolves a little bit. But yeah, his reaction after he scored, and fair play to him, because the goal that he did score was actually a lot harder and a lot more technical than the goal that he should have scored. So, and I thought with the goal that wasn't a goal, it was good to see that Adama wasn't selfish with it, because I think Adama of old would have been quite selfish with that ball. So that was also good to see as well from them both.
I'll tell you what, with that one, Amy, he got through, and he lost the ball.
He lost the ball.
If he would have dropped at his feet, he would have just tapped it in, and he
lost the ball. And then I thought, oh, is he going to go for it? And then he passed it. And then I'd like to think that I could have scored that, but
I think you could.
I probably couldn't have. But so now it was like you both said, I think he's still got a long way to go, but it's good to see a bit more of fight and for him playing for Wolves again. So yeah.
And to finish up with your man of the match and your performance rating, Andy.
Oh, I was going to say Fabio, but I suppose I can't really say that really. I think it's probably more Adama, because he did seem to make a big difference when he came on. I ain't just saying it because he scored, because I hate it when people give it man of the match just because they scored the goal. But he does, he runs rings round him. It's great. I'll give it Adama, and man of the points. I'd say, well, first off, overall, I don't know, overall 7. But if I was to split it into halves, I'd go 2 for the first one, and probably 7 or 8 for the next one. Really, I suppose.
And a 7 overall.
Yeah,
mate, absolutely brilliant to have you on the channel. And next, hopefully, 8 o'clock next week will suit you, and we'll see where in the world you are this time.
Probably the same place.
Oh, you're going to be staying there for a while, are you? Fair enough, buddy.
Couple of weeks.
All right then. Catch you soon, mate.
All right, thanks a lot. See you both.
Bye. See you soon.
Bye. So, Lee Clark, just to mention, Morgan Gibbs-White's actually from Stafford, not Wolverhampton, but he is a local boy. And there we go. So next up, before we finally get on to Mini Amy and Dad, we have Amy, the ghost man, and the big question is, will we be able to see him? Almost. He's got a look to keep. It's kind of a shadowy figure in the background. Are you in your shed, mate?
No, I'm in my utility room.
You've got an upgrade from the shed.
Yeah, the missus said it's too cold out there. Coming in.
No, she's let you in.
Yeah, but she hasn't given you a light. As Adrian Richards says, let there be light. Do you have a switch in the utility, or do you do all your washing in the dark?
Well, the light is on, but it's one of them eco light things. They're terrible. I want to smash them, really.
I think you'd actually have more light if you did smash it, mate, to be fair.
Can you send you the
Probably
light
would,
to let us know where you live. I'll send you the disco light for next time, so you can have the disco light.
It's a shame you turned it off. I was burging to it.
Oh, we'll put it on. I'll put it on at the end.
It's going on at the end, and we're going to have we're waiting for people to come up with a Fabio Silva.
No, Dave, stop. No. You want viewers to subscribe to this channel, not desubscribe, or whatever the word is.
Unsubscribe, yeah.
Right.
What'd she say?
I don't know. Right, Ghostman, how did you find today?
Cool game. Just we go on. Stop putting your things in caps. You don't need caps is shouting. Put in normal lowercase, and then people might listen to you. So please, if you put another post, if you need another post in caps, we'll have to time you out again. Carry on, Ghostman.
Well, like I said, the first 10 minutes I thought, yes, we're going to have a good go. And then after that, I thought, oh no, here we go again. Back to the Burnley day. I thought, oh no. And the defending one was terrible again. But once the sending off happened, it completely changed the game. And I thought we played a lot better. And the second half was brilliant. Morgan Gibbs White played well in the second half. Aitnoy was going down the left flank brilliantly. And the interplay was very good between Vitinha and Silva as well.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? But yeah, well, I think we all felt the same when the first goal went in. Like, oh, here we go again, thinking, oh God, this better not be a Burnley repeat, because I think it was about the same time that Burnley scored the first goal.
It was exactly like a repeat. I thought, here we go, and especially when we were all over the place, they just didn't get that second goal. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think there could have been a bit of trouble if they just scored that goal that Rui saved, to be fair, but they didn't. So, so thinking about Raul, Keith, would you want to see Raul play on the final day of the season?
No, absolutely not.
No.
What does he need? No, what does he need to play for? If we needed the points, we was fighting against the relegation, then yes, definitely. But we don't need the points with the save, so just leave him to the start of next season. Give him a good pre-season and get him back in ready.
Yeah, I think you're agreeing with what everyone else thinks, which is
But Keith, what if Raul's saying to Nuno, I want to play, you know, I've not played for ages, just give me this game, give me 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Would you say no if he's desperate to play and he wants to come on, wear the gold shirt before the end of the season and say, I've come back? Would both of you say no then if he was desperately wanting to play?
I think in situations like this, you've got to listen to the medics, haven't you? Like, if the medics say clear him to play and he really, really wants to play, then, you know, fair enough. But then there's also Nuno is the boss. So if he thinks he shouldn't be playing, then he shouldn't be playing. But for me, it's the medics have got to have the impartial medic. So the specialist doesn't work for the club, is just a head injury specialist. They're the ones that got to have the say, really, hasn't it? So.
See, I think I'm on that. I think if he wants to play, I don't particularly think he needs to play. The worry for me is if he plays and then he ends up going off to the Olympics with Mexico, which I know it's his country, but it's not like the World Cup or the whatever the American version is, like of the European Championships. It is the Olympics, and I'd worry that he'd go to that and he could get hurt in that and then not come back fit for pre-season.
I think that until he's played a substantial amount of games, everyone is going to be quite naturally worried about him because of what has happened. So I think it's just natural worry. I think the Olympics for the Mexico football team is quite a big thing nationally, whereas for us in this country, the Olympics with football isn't really that big a thing. But I think for them it is quite. So he probably doesn't want to miss out on that. But you don't know, do you? I'm sure they'll do whatever is right for him.
I think you're right, Amy. I think we have to wait and see what happens with that. To be honest, Ghostman, people are suggesting that you use your mobile phone as a makeshift light.
I was doing that.
That's a mild improvement. He does have an image to keep up. He does have an image to keep up, but he's not as blessed as you with all your fangled lights, Amy.
I know. Maybe we'll have to. He'll come up to the monument and speak to us, and we won't recognise him because we'll be able to see him.
Yeah. Chaotic Rage has already said get Amy to lend him a disco globe, but Amy, to be fair, has already offered that.
I have.
So finally, mate, your man of the match. I think you might have said, and your performance rating.
Performance rating, I gave it a 7.5 overall, and the man of the match, I gave it to 8 Nori because the overall game he played well. I mean, Adama come well and done well on his substitute appearance in that, but for the whole game, I've had to give it to 8 Nori.
Yeah, I think quite a lot of people agree with you today, and I think it's nice to see Ait Nori get a positive reaction because I think the way he's been playing, he deserves it.
Yes,
absolutely,
definitely.
Any? You've got 35 seconds left, Keith. Anything you want to say to your Ghosty fans? Are you being sponsored by Snapchat, for example?
I'd just like to say thank you all. I love you all, and I've had a few things in the last few weeks that really bad news. So, and the community's really been there for me and gave me some encouraging words. So I'd like to thank everyone for that. You
lost your nephew, didn't you, in a car accident, mate?
Yes, 12 years of age.
I'm sorry to hear that, Keith.
And he has been through it, Amy. So we've been talking to him. But Keith, you know that we're always here for you. You're a character. You're a character on the channel now, and we know that must have been really difficult for you and you and your family dealing with losing your nephew, just 12 years of age, in a car accident. And I know that he loved his football, didn't he? So we do send our best wishes and love to you and all of your family.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
There you go. And you're getting some lovely messages in the chat as well from everyone as well now, Keith. Keith, hopefully we'll get you back on again very, very soon. Lots of love to you all, and thanks for your contribution. And your lighting is slowly improving.
Yes, it is. Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot. Take care.
See you soon.
Lots of love to Keith there. As I say, that's an awful thing to have had to deal with, losing his nephew at the age of 12. But to finish the show tonight, we do have the dynamic duo, Batman and Robinette, to come on. And it is Mini Amy and Dad. Welcome, guys. Last up tonight, but all always welcome. Sometimes you're on first, sometimes you're in the middle, but you're actually finishing the show with us tonight. How are you all?
All right. Good, thanks. How are you, Dave?
All good, thank you. Been looking forward to seeing you two tonight. What are your thoughts on the game?
Well, I'm glad that Nuno played the younger players today because you need to give them a chance. And we're not going to get relegated this season, but we're not in a place where we're going to, go Europa or Champions League. So I think it's the right time to play those players.
Yeah, it's a nice time. We've got a few games left. Let's have a look at people who haven't had game time, people who've been on the bench. And let's judge and make some decisions about what we want to do next season. Some people who we've got to make decisions on regarding transfers. Some people we've got to make decisions on regarding how much game time we want to give them next season. Are they going to be somebody we look at as a first choice, or do we want to look at them maybe as a backup? So I think this is like a perfect little window, sort of like an extended pre-season to judge these younger players and have a really good look at people and make some informed decisions before next season.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that. I think it's quite nice to see the different team sheets and the different formations that we're seeing when you look at the lineups. Dave texted me when they changed it quite significantly for the Albion match. He was like, a bit interesting. I was like, well, you know what? It's actually quite exciting. And I felt the same today, seeing the lineup, seeing how different it was again. That they are using the time wisely, I think is the word. And I think some of those players, like we said about Neves, and I know Neves did start today, but he came off like 6 minutes, didn't he? So I think some of those players, they really do need they just need the time off, really. So
I've got to say to Finlay that Dad likes to be known as Dad. We've asked him before. He has said, "Can you just call me Dad?" So that's what it is. It's Dad.
That's it. Yeah, that's fine by me. Just call me Dad. Or like I say, if you want to, maybe even the Daddy.
Who's the Daddy?
So what were your guys' thoughts on Gibbs White? Because we've only really briefly spoken about him, so it'd be good to get a bit of different opinion on Gibbs White.
I think he played well today, and I think he proved himself. He should have done better with the first chance he had when he put it over. But I think other than that, he was pretty good today.
Yeah, I think his performance mirrored the team's as a whole. First 10 minutes, he was bright, lively, and then he faded for the rest of the first half, like the rest of the team did, very flat for the rest of the first half. Second half, I thought he did well. He got to good pockets of space, looked to get on the half turn, looked to make things happen, positive. Unfortunately, it looked like he was going to be the villain. When he missed that, it looked like, oh, God, this is it now. It's going to be like, Gibbs White's going to get out.
What's going to come, you know what's coming, Yeah,
exactly. But thankfully, I was so glad that it was him that got the winner. Then, the villain turns to the hero, and it's a nice redemption story for him. But overall, just discounting the fact that he got the winning goal, I didn't think he had a bright performance, and I think it was something just to say to Nuno, let me have another go next game. Stick me in there again, because I've done enough to convince you I can contribute to the team.
He had that another run, didn't he, where he ran past and the keeper tipped it round the post as well?
Yeah, exactly.
That's another good chance
another good effort from him. Yeah.
And the team tonight that Wolves put out. Let's just have a look at that team. It was an experimental back four: Kilman and Cody. Ait-Nouri. Oh, I don't know how old he is. Maybe you'll know. He's not very old, is he? Ait-Nouri.
He's 19, I think.
Ait-Nouri's 19. How old's Hoover?
There was a stat on the BBC earlier. I think there was there 3 players that were teenagers, and the average age was 24 and 200 and something days. And you think that average is boosted quite significantly by Martino and Patricio. So it was a very, very young side today.
So considering we had so many young players, Fabio 18, Vitina's about 19.
Ait-Nouri's 19.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that it's given me a lot of heart the last couple of games to see these. Do we know, was Otasowie injured?
We don't. He wasn't on the bench and he wasn't playing, so
I don't know. Nobody's really said anything. Nothing's come out.
We haven't heard anything.
And any reason why he wanted the squad, which is a strange one. Yeah, because he was good at the Albion, you know, and playing in a position that is like not his natural position, but still
he's got a bit of height and strength as well. You'd have thought he'd been.
Yeah, he's really tall as well, isn't he? So
yeah, he's a powerful player as well. So it was a surprise that he wasn't involved. I expected him to start and to not even be on the bench. It surely must be an injury. I can't think he was dropped after his last performance at the Albion. I can't.
Maybe he's got COVID.
Maybe it's another case of that. Yeah, good shout.
Tuber Wolves Craig. It's an interesting stat here. Apparently, it's the second youngest team in Premier League history. I'm wondering whether the other one was that Man United team where it was. Who was it that famously said, "You'll never win anything with kids"? Who was it that said it?
Alan Hansen.
Alan Hansen. I knew you knew that. Yeah, Alan Hansen.
I think I heard that as well, actually. I think I heard that on the commentary today, them say that. So, like we've said, promising, really, really promising to see. And nice that they're coming in and they're allowing themselves to play instead of being a bit nervous, like they've been given the confidence by the coaching staff and the more experienced players around them to come in and to play instead of being maybe a little bit apprehensive, a little bit scared.
Yeah, they've got nothing to lose now. They ain't got the threat of relegation hanging over them, or we've got to win games to qualify for the Europa League. So they've got a free hit. It's a free hit for them just to prove themselves. And again, they haven't got the pressure of fans. You know, they haven't got fans in the ground. If they make a mistake going on the back, or away fans, or travelling to an away ground and having opposition fans, they've got a lot of things there, a lot of freedom to express themselves. Without a lot of pressure or any sort of burden.
And they need to prove to Nuno as well, don't they? So they will feel that pressure, but I mean, they ain't got the fans, as you've said, so they're proving themselves.
It's an audition. It's an audition for Nuno, really. That's what it is, these last few games, and an audition for next season. And I think so far, so good. Looking at the people who've come in, the youngsters who've played, I think they've given us a lot of hope for the future, looking at next season and even further on than that, to think these guys can play a part. They're only going to get better. They're only going to grow, develop, both physically and tactically and technically. All aspects of the game will get better as they grow. And so I think the impact they'll have on the team in the seasons that follow will be greater than this, because this season they've been thrown in at the deep end. And they expect to have the game time that they've had. Hove has had to play more times than he would have, and Nouri's had to play more times than he was expected to. Certainly Silva, you know, with the situation with him and there. So they've been thrown in at the deep end, and Nuno, I think, wanted to use it for 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. Yeah. And they've had to play a lot more than Nuno was expecting.
Yeah, and it was young players today, as we've already said, and it was the first time in the Premier League we bet Brighton, so it proves they did really well.
Yeah, the youngsters have done it. The first time we beat Brighton.
No, well, they haven't got all that baggage. I'm going to do some quick fire questions for you both now. Are you ready?
Oh, go on then.
Okay, quick fire questions for you. Bettina, send back or buy?
I'd buy him.
Buy.
Okay, so buy.
He's got a good shot on him as well, and he's proved that, hasn't he? He gets Chorley and other occasions as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Morgan Gibbs White. Give him another chance next season, or loan him or sell him.
Go on, you go first this time. I went first last time.
I would loan him, I think.
Maybe that could be a sensible option, because I think before today I would have said sell him. You know, before today, but he's put a performance in today that's made me think, maybe I was too quick to pull the trigger. So maybe a loan again, yeah.
Okay. Nori, buy or send back?
I'd buy. He's proved himself. He's positive. And at the start, we were saying he's not very good defensively, but he's improved with that too. So I think he's coming along well.
Yeah, I think Nori's a definite keeper.
Okay. William Jose, buy, send back?
Send back, I think.
Look the way you were send back. Brilliant.
No,
I think he needed to get more goals.
Yeah.
He's got good link-up play, but as we've already mentioned, he's not getting into the positions as Silva as well, and he can't seem to find the space.
Yeah, Silva's movement and natural instinct for scoring has been better. But Jose did a job, you know, we should have forgotten he did a job. He come in when we needed a physical presence up there, and our results did turn when he came in and offered us a physical outlet up front. So he has contributed in that sense.
And I'm going to hand over to Amy now to finish your last 2.5 minutes.
I thought you were going to throw all the questions at me then. I was like,
we're going to do
a
special on it, Amy, at some point.
Overall, guys, who is... Oh, we've not asked the RAL question. So the RAL question, would you play him given the opportunity, and also your match rating and your player of the match?
With Raul, I think wait till next season, because you just need to be safe. You don't want to risk it, do you, in case he's getting injured again? And, you know, we need to see what the medics think, because they're specialists at it.
Yeah, and Mexico and looming large in the background. They're waiting to grab him, Mexico. As soon as he puts a foot on the pitch at Molineux, play for Wolves, they'll grab him and take him to the Olympics. So I think the only way we can keep him from participating in that and give him a summer's break is just to not risk him and then just use him in pre-season.
Yeah, definitely. I think everyone's had that consensus tonight, haven't they?
Then for my man of the match, I would say Aït-Nouri. It is close between him and Traoré, but I think he was really positive today, and he was my man of the match last game, and I think he's been very consistent lately.
Yeah, he's been doing very well, Aït-Nouri. I think over the last sort of handful of games, he's been one of our best players.
Hold on. Is Dad going to agree with you on your man of the match?
Hang on, did I say I agree?
Oh, I thought it was going to be a first.
Aït-Nouri was very good. Yeah, Aït-Nouri was very good. But I'm going to go for Traoré for his impact from the bench and the way he turned the game. His impact on the game was monumental for us. They couldn't handle him. They couldn't handle him. And if he had to come on the pitch, I don't think we'd have won the game.
Then for my general performance, I would say 7 overall. First 10 minutes, we were very bright. Then the rest of the first half we were flat, like we weren't doing very well, and Brighton was on top. Then second half we were positive again and creating chances. So I think 7 overall.
Yeah, I would have said a 7 overall as well, but because Raya said a 7, I'll go with 7.5.
Fantastic.
I agree. And guys, you need to stick around in a minute because we're going to be ending the show with Amy putting the disco lights and putting the disco dancing on for us all.
I don't know if I'm dancing.
We're going to get the lights on in a minute just to finish the show. Guys, a pleasure. Thanks for waiting patiently tonight. And we're just going to get Amy to go and put on the lights, and we're going to finish by celebrating breaking that hoodoo and
the Albion going down.
We're going to have a moment's silence to send our love and best wishes and sadness to them down the road in the stripy blue tops. All right, guys. Thanks again. Take care, guys.
See
Bye.
So I'm just going to change the background. Whilst Amy goes on and does that, I'm just going to say thank you once again for Spider VPN for supporting it. And we're going to get on the old disco lights. Here they come. Boom, boom, boom. You look, Amy, you're gliding around like you look like you're floating around on your chair.
It's because it's my desk chair for work.
It's like you look like you're floating and going around. And there we have the beautiful lights to celebrate the hoodoo and the stripy light, sadly, going back into oblivion, back into the championship. Final thoughts on today, Amy, to finish off. Final thoughts, give you your thoughts as well on the stripy lot going down as well. Your last words, last rites, shall we say, for them?
I think overall, I think it's just nice, especially after what was a very disappointing show against the Albion. I think it's just not the Albion, Burnley. I think it's just nice to see that they're finishing the season quite positive when there's nothing really to play for. So really good from that front. I'm hoping it continues. Spurs aren't looking that great, so they were awful against Leeds yesterday. So I'm hoping that we can continue that next week as well. With the Albion going down, it is a bit bittersweet. Obviously, it's been 9 seasons since we actually went to a derby, and now it's going to be at least another, could be 11 seasons by the time we actually could get to go to one, unless they get them in the cup.
I think that's the one sad thing. We have had the Black Country derby, but it wasn't a proper derby.
Was it? I mean, you think how you felt on Monday, and it was a bit there was no build up to it. There wasn't got anything had it. So that's the only disappointing thing.
Maybe we'll draw them in the cup or something next year.
Maybe. God, I don't know if I could take that again when all the South Bank was full of Albion fans.
Oh yeah, I know. But yeah, they have been tonight during the show. The West Birmingham Baggy Birds have been relegated after one season in the Premier League, and on the same day that Wolves against the other Albion in the Premier League, Brighton and Hove, have finally broken that hoodoo, the bogey team hoodoo, have never beaten them in the top flight. And Morgan Gibbs-White, would you believe, first goal for the old gold and black in the final minutes of the game, securing a 2-1 victory. It's been a great show. Hopefully, please smash a like on the video if you've been watching it on YouTube, and also give us a 5-star rating on the podcast. Thank you to everyone that's joined both me and Ames in the chat tonight, and all our guests for contributing. And Amy, thank you very much for bringing out the disco lights as well. And Keith has already messaged asking when you can borrow them.
We'll get it to you. Don't worry.
In fact, he's there now. Look, great show. Lovely comments. All the best. So from myself and from Amy, always Wolves.
Always Wolves. Bye.